Hey, this is John Siskowicz with Farm Marketing Solutions, and today I want to go over some of the questions you should ask yourself before you decide to sell at a farmer's market. And some of those questions are, do you even enjoy it? I mean, you have to make sure that talking to people face-to-face, interacting with customers, asking people for money is something that you really enjoy to do. If you're more of the quiet type, but you really like to grow vegetables, maybe sales is not your strength. And that's fine. You just need to find somebody that's going to work with you to market your goods for you, to be that voice, that boisterous person who's going to talk on a camera on YouTube or sell your goods at the farmer's market. Just because you don't like to do it doesn't mean you can't go down that avenue to market your goods, but you need to find somebody who's going to help you. But if you enjoy it, that's perfect. A farmer's market could definitely be the place for you. Some of the other things to consider are, where are the closest farmers markets? I mean, it's going to take you time every week to pack your truck, drive to the farmer's market, set it up, spend all day at the market, and clean it up, drive all the way home. So you want to find somewhere that's close to you that you can be cross-promoting visits to your farm, doing agritourism, you pick kind of stuff, and really developing your customer base, but not spending all of your time driving. So there is that balance of, finding somewhere close and local that you can cross-promote your farm, or if you live further away from a major city, but you can get in a major city market, it might be worth the extra drive because you're getting a higher retail dollar. There's a lot of things to balance and weigh, because now with gas prices the way they are, I look that way because that's where the gas station is in town. With gas prices the way they are, the further you have to drive, the more money you're going to have to make at the market to recoup those costs. Some other questions to ask, we just went over, time spent at the market. Is that something that you can afford to do? And I say afford not just in monetary sense, but if you got a big operation and you could be increasing your CSA numbers, and you're spending that time instead visiting 4 farmers markets every week, that time might be better spent not in the car or not at the farmer's market, and you'll have a higher return on investment doing a CSA model, selling your vegetables, or I sell chickens and meat, whatever, pick your product. It might be more worthwhile to do a CSA model, an on-farm stand, you pick, because you're not driving all over the place. Then again, it might be worth it because you get a higher retail dollar, and that's definitely something to consider, is that you in general get a higher retail dollar when you're selling by the piece at the farmer's market. Some of the other things to consider and ask yourself, are the farmers markets around you or that you would have access to getting enough foot traffic? Without the customers there to buy the products, they're not going to sell anything. You're not going to make any money. So if you live on the coast and you're closer to a big enough city or a town where you're getting a lot of traffic and people are visiting the farmer's market every week, and you've been going there for a couple years and you're starting a farm, and that's an avenue you want to go down because you see that it's very successful, that's great. But if you live in really rural America and it's a small town and everybody buys from your farm stand anyways, it may not benefit you to join a farmer's market. So it's definitely something to consider what that foot traffic is, because you have to recoup all the costs associated with joining a market. And that brings me up to the other question of, what is the application process like? Now, I'm finding with farmers markets that I have to fill out a form. Just my experiences in the past. There's a form that you got to fill out. You have to have certain certifications to do certain things. In California, you have to be a certified grower. There are certain health code things that you need to adhere to about having a bleaching station. That could be as easy as having a bucket with some water and some bleach and a brush. But it's something that you have to have on hand in order to sell at the farmer's market, depending on what market. And as you look into other farmers markets or farmers markets to sell at, they'll give you a list of rules and regulations that you have to comply with. Another question you have to ask yourself is how you're going to differentiate yourself from those other growers. Now, if there's already 5 vegetable growers, chances are when you put your application in, they're not even going to let you sell there because they have enough vegetable growers and they want to keep a diversified product, range of products to the customers that are visiting the farmer's market. That makes it more attractive. If you have 10 vegetable growers, I mean, it's a lot of vegetables, but it's just too much of one thing. You don't have an entire store that's just a produce section. It's just a section of the store. So how are you going to set yourself apart? And you can do that in a number of ways. That's through you being, boisterous and interactive and talking to your customers, handing out free samples, having superior quality produce. I mean, you should never go to market with anything that's less than your best. I mean, you really want to wow the customers. That's what will keep them coming back. So if, I'm finding I wanted to get into a couple farmers markets around here and I raised chickens and they had one chicken guy. Now, with one chicken guy, I don't understand why I can't get in, and that creates healthy competition because we're offering a slightly different product, and it gives us a chance to really outdo ourselves. If you're the one chicken guy, you can produce whatever you want. Essentially, I mean, you should produce the best stuff, but you can produce whatever you want because you're the only guy around. You have the monopoly. So it's on you to convince your market manager and the board to get into the market, and then once you're in there, really differentiate yourself, create a quality product that people are going to be interested in. Maybe some of that is, you do an added value product at the farmer's market and sell that there, and that is an upsell for joining your vegetable CSA or your meat CSA or visiting your farm. So all things to consider. I hope this video helped you out a little bit in your decision making when going to join a farmer's market. There's definitely several different avenues to do farm marketing, and I'll cover those in other videos. So for more information about the business of agriculture, farm marketing, to listen to my podcast, visit farmmarketingsolutions.com. Thank you.